Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledging knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. News, brews, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
Ooh, no.
You heard the man, ladies and gentlemen. That was Biz. This is Topic Thunder. Welcome into what we fashionably call the Internet Saloon. My name is Brooks. That handsome gentleman there is Ben. And folks, if you're piling in, you're walking through the double doors, the old school saloon double doors. Right. Welcome in. Ben and I fashion ourselves as infotainers, and you have stepped into the world's most dangerous chat zone. We call that the Thunderdome. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is Topic Thunder, and if you're not familiar with the concept, well, we kind of generally bet a whole bunch of topics into your side of the court. And via the world's most dangerous chat zone, which Ryan Hansen's already occupying, first one in, you volley back. It's a beautiful thing. And across the interwebs, from Chicago to West Texas, and all areas in between, including weird places where we don't know where you're coming from, but we should.
Right, bots maybe, or Bobby Suzuki's. We don't know who everybody is. But we definitely enjoy the Thunderdome. You are basically the third host of this show. And so this show would be super boring if it was just me and Brooks babbling at each other about topics that, we care about. And we wonder if you guys do too. So this show would be nothing. We probably wouldn't even be doing it. Him and I would just have text conversations with each other about these topics. Right? if we didn't have you guys to interact with us. So.
We'd have a Slack channel, as they say these days.
Yes.
Everybody's got a Slack. We don't have a Slack. We just text. We might Facebook message each other too.
Occasionally. When I see only because when I'm on Facebook and I want to just send you the link directly, it's easiest to just hit Facebook message and send it through Facebook message.
Whatever like social media or news apparatus you're on, they've got the share button, right? Whatever is easiest. So like I'm 2 clicks away as opposed to copying and pasting into a text, and then that guy's got there it is, right? Speaking of copying and pasting, I might be already a little pasted, but you didn't hear that from me.
Woo!
Had a drink, celebrating an odd moment in life today. Not a bad one, but like a weird good one that like nudged you. Like if you were look. Cheers to those moments.
Okay, boomer.
That's right. That's ageism right there. You have those moments in life where just the universe nudges you. I had one of those today, so cheers to you. This is simply Kirkland's brand Costco. They call it K-Vine. It's a Syrah.
Yes. So, and those of you that have been with us long enough, you'll know that if Brooks is drinking wine, the second half of the show is always a little bit more entertaining than the first.
Second half is fine.
He's very calm. He may slur a word or two, mispronounce something, and make Gigi giggle. And we'll have a good time for sure. We know that.
The point of the show is just to have fun.
Exactly. I may not be drinking alcohol, but trust me, I'm in the right state of mind.
And Brooks will be loose. No, we can't do that. There's actually UN rules and sanctions.
Getting Don Lemon lit.
I'll get canceled. That's fine. Okay. Some notoriety is better than no notoriety. Ma Jordan in the house, along with Amy Cleaver. Hello. Let's go. We've already done there's no like.
Yeah, there's no theatrics there. We've done. Yeah, hey, we're drinking. We're having a good time. Let's get into it. Headline.
You're here on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube.
Bobby Suzuki into his house.
And not just me. Bobby.
He's got some sort of guest. We'll have them log in and join the fun.
Now, Brooks is here to lay it all out for us, folks. So, without hesitation, we introduce you to a segment that, as far as I'm concerned, and know that nobody else has ever done ever, it's the most creative segment ever. It's called Headlines.
Indeed.
Indeed. First one, I'm Ben. Ben,
Yes.
hold on. I feel like at this point, I'm going to rapidly turn this one over to you. But
Yeah, this was kind of my idea. I'll take blame for
I
this if it
do
doesn't go
want to
well.
take a preface to this, though. Before we get to this writer's article, I just want to say this is just one of those consequences of the uncertainty in the world today, and the uncertainty of leadership to make decisions today.
Okay.
And this is a consequence of the current situation in Gaza and Israel, between
Yes.
Hamas, Israel, the Zionists. Again, we look. We're not going to go over this again, but if you want to see a disclaimer about this, several shows ago, we
Right.
had already said this is as complex a situation as you could possibly imagine.
Yes.
All avenues, government, religion, civil responsibility, military, all play into this. So it's a very delicate situation. And far be it from two white men to
Right.
like sit there and say this is what should happen. What we pour from the tap here at the Internet Saloon is conversation, and maybe what could be, not what should be. So,
Yeah, definitely. So let's supply some context here, right?
and
So the headline, as you see here, is Harvard board backs university president after congressional remarks. Now, if you are not familiar with this story, it all again goes back to this war between Israel and Hamas, and goes back to this attack that happened on what was it?
October 7th,
October 7th.
Putin's birthday.
Yes. And this is one of those offshoots of that like those the shrapnel, if you will, of this situation, something that is adjacent but is involved with this, right? And because what has happened since that time is that on college campuses, particularly Ivy League campuses, where there is a high number of liberal leaning, not only faculty, but students. Also, ironically, unironically, coincidentally, also a lot of law students among those people, right? And there has been a large number of pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses in the United States. And this is where it gets weird and delicate, is that there is this phrase from what you're going to correct me here, but it's from the sea to
From the
what
river
is
to the sea.
from the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free, right?
Which is that's a whole nother like show of context, just to be
Right.
honest with everybody, like that. And I'll just I'm not trying to interrupt you, Ben, but that is a
No, but it's
loaded
important to
statement.
understand what that phrase is, because it's the crux of this whole conversation.
That is a whole nother show, and that is a whole nother level of complexity to this.
But what to
conversation.
understand at its basic root, and it's what's important to this conversation, is that phrase essentially, well, not essentially. I don't want to sugarcoat this. It from the Israeli Jewish perspective, that is a phrase that is associated with genocide, basically calling for the genocide of Jewish people from the Muslim faith, from the Muslim perspective, right? That is how it is taken as a Jewish person. That phrase. If you use that phrase, you are essentially calling for the genocide of their people. And so they take great offense to that phrase. The flip side to that is those pro-Palestinian protesters. Their argument is that they are trying. I think their argument is that they are trying to almost repurpose or retake that phrase and use it in a different sense that doesn't necessarily call for the genocide, but just calls for the freedom of the Palestinian people to be Palestinian and exist. They're trying to, you know, the same way that the African American community has tried to take the N word and make it their own and repurpose it and take some of the venom out of it. I think that is also the perspective of the Palestinian people when they're using that phrase. They're trying to use it in a different context, and that is what is important here, is the context of the way that the phrase is being used, which for me, I am a big believer in context mattering. It has to matter if we're going to have real discussions about phrases that hurt people. The intent and the context of which those words were said has to matter. It has to. And that is where we come back to these presidents, because they were called in front of Congress. It was MIT, Harvard, and Penn, I believe.
Correct.
Three presidents that were called in front of Congress, and they were basically asked to take accountability for these pro-Palestinian protests that have been happening, and what has been painted from a lot of the media, because it is from the Jewish perspective. And say what you will, there is a Jewish bias in the media. When you look at how we have immediately backed Israel and the media has immediately backed Israel, I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is, but it is clearly apparent that there is a pro-Jewish bias that has looked poorly upon these pro-Palestinian
And
protests.
I will counter and just say we can have another show how I can provide context where there's a pro-Palestinian context to a lot of news stories coming from other respected and valued news sources. I'm just trying to provide more context for how absolutely insanely complex this conversation is.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, and I'm not trying to stop you from your point, because you're right.
This is the discussion, because I want to make sure if I'm wrong anywhere along the way here, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to be wrong. And that's why discussion for me is the way that I learn. And I'm always open to hearing another side of it and understanding better. And that's why I wanted to bring it to the Thunderdome. That's why I wanted to talk about this story, because if I'm looking at this the wrong way, I want much smarter people around me to tell me so.
We are. Yeah, that's welcome to the Thunderdome. I didn't mean to stop.
And if I'm not great, and if I'm on the right track, I'm on the right track too.
I don't see. Here's the thing: what's the right or wrong track here? It's razor thin. The minute individual morality of these conversations, that I think is part of a broader plan or conversation. I think we might get into it later in the show. I don't know. But I think that these morality plays, as they're on our TV, they're on our computer screen, they're on our mobile apps. We're watching all these people's feeds are filled with dead Palestinian children. People's feeds are filled with dead Israeli children. Half of both of those videos are actually videos and pictures of dead Syrian children that happened 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. In all of the you have to consider your political bias, your religious bias. You now have to also interdict a healthy shot of misinformation and disinformation into the conversation, because that's important here. We have to keep that in mind, that just because this is happening in this particular part of the world between these two particular parties, we cannot forget that there are many interested parties that are just feeding into this particular situation. And maybe because of where it is, mm-hmm. and what it encompasses, but also like that is not to forget, it's a genuine situation. Like there are people right now suffering. There's the heavy rains have hit that area. And if you're living in tents and you're living in Gaza somehow, and for sure,
good fucking luck.
Your homes and they look like Ukraine. They look like Mariupol. They look what happened in Kharkiv. Like there's little difference. Those areas have been flattened, and then you introduce torrential rains. Though, what are those people going to do?
And no one around them, none of those countries around them will take them in.
Again,
like so, you're saying Israel is getting away with this idea that we're telling them to get out of these areas and flee, but that we're giving them warning. We're giving these innocent people warning to get out, but there is nowhere to go. There is no getting out. There's nowhere to go. But so you're right. Again, there's complexities of who's right, who's wrong, no doubt. What I want to wrap this back around to is the political theater that went on the floor of Congress with the questioning, particularly of this woman from Harvard. And I think for context's sake, yes, a woman of color, as a matter of fact.
No,
yes.
Why would what? Who questions what?
Yeah, no. And so there was a little bit of gotcha. Now, this is a 5-minute long video. I don't intend on playing all of it, but I do think that it's worth seeing maybe a couple of minutes of it to understand this. There's this Republican congresswoman who clearly is trying to pin down this Harvard president who is obviously very intelligent, well educated on the subject, and is also very careful with her words, understanding the legal implications of what she says, and is not just going to get caught up in the sound bite that can be played on TikTok. She wasn't going to allow that to happen, and it almost blew up in her face, if not for the faculty of Harvard and the board of Harvard coming to her defense. Like the Penn president actually ended up resigning from the pressure.
So I also, before you play this,
sure,
Ben, I just want to say, Ben and I have full disclosure, have already been coached by our human resource and legal teams as to what to say here. So we completely understand what this professor and president is about to try to navigate.
Exactly.
Thank you. Ms. Stefanik, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Dr. Gay, a Harvard student calling for the mass murder of African Americans is not protected free speech at Harvard, correct?
Our commitment to free speech...
It's a yes or no question. Is that corrected? Is that okay for students to call for the mass murder of African Americans at Harvard? Is that protected free speech?
Our commitment to free speech...
It's a yes or no question. Let me ask you this. You are president of Harvard, so I assume you're familiar with the term intifada, correct?
I've heard that term, yes.
And you understand that the use of the term intifada in the context of the Israeli-Arab conflict is indeed a call for violent armed resistance against the state of Israel, including violence against civilians and the genocide of Jews. Are you aware of that?
That type of hateful speech is personally abhorrent to me.
And there have been multiple marches at Harvard with students chanting, quote, "There is only one solution, intifada revolution," and, quote, "globalize the intifada." Is that correct?
I've heard that thoughtless, reckless, and hateful language on our campus, yes.
So based upon your testimony, you understand that this call for intifada is to commit genocide against the Jewish people in Israel and globally, correct?
I will say again, that type of hateful speech is personally abhorrent to me.
Do you believe that type of hateful speech is contrary to Harvard's code of conduct, or is it allowed at Harvard?
Back away from the mic.
It is at odds with the values of Harvard.
Well, no, you know why? Because she is so intent on getting, this is her moment. This Elise Stefanik, this is her moment to get her 15 minutes and become famous as a congresswoman. And she's going to try to do it at the expense of this woman who is clearly doing a tremendous job keeping her composure in the face of someone who is clearly trying to rile her and get her to react emotionally in the same way that she is reacting. It's yeah.
Elise Stefanik is acting like a person who acting like she is like, do you want to step outside? You want to step outside? And the other person says, yes, I do. And says, well, I didn't mean to become physical. Why, I don't mean to be.
Right.
That is exactly who Elise Stefanik is at this moment.
Yep.
Can you
But
not
our
say here that it is
values
against the
also-
code of conduct at Harvard?
We embrace a commitment to free expression, even of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful. It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment,
Does that
and
speech not
intimidation.
cross that barrier? Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
When
You
that speech-
testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada. Is that speech according to the code of conduct or not?
We embrace a commitment to free expression and give a wide berth to free expression, even of views that are objectionable.
You and I
outrageous,
both know
and
that's not the
offensive.
case. You were aware that Harvard ranked dead last when it came to free speech. Are you not aware of that report?
Based
As I
what report?
observed earlier,
Whose report?
I
based on what?
reject that characterization.
It's the
of our
data shows
campus.
it's true. And isn't it true that Harvard
data.
previously rescinded multiple offers of admissions
Pause that.
for applicants?
Pause that. What data?
Yeah, exactly.
Because-
Where did the data come from? What biases were
This is-
put into that? Yeah.
Let me point out, this is the same political party that put up in a 9x10 poster board of Hunter Biden's penis pic
Yeah.
as evidence on our congressional floor as evidence. But when pressed to say, when did we say this? When did we mean this? This particular person says, the data says, and it's clear. Where's the data? It's clear. Where's the data? The data, don't argue about where the data is from.
Yeah. You can't. You have to know. You're just spouting off the data says. What data? You just were doing it to sound smart again, to try to just corner this woman into a gotcha question, which she is saying exactly the right thing from anyone that is educated on the subject of free speech, right? This same woman will talk about free speech. I bet that there's probably videos out there of this woman talking about how the free speech of conservatives is always being silenced. Well, this is also free speech too.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping at this point everybody knows who Ellie Stefanik is. If not, that she has a voice in a national conversation at all is disturbing, let alone being able to question somebody as decorated and educated as Dr. Hill here is. What you're seeing here is somebody coming in to your place of work angry and disgruntled for no good reason, doesn't know the process, doesn't know. All they know is they haven't gotten what they want.
Right.
I don't care where you are. You're at you work at a doggy daycare, you work at a pharmacy, you work in an x-ray department, you work at a dealership of a car, you work this is an angry customer coming to you, spouting a bunch of blah blah blah, I blah 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 blah, and all they're really saying is me, and not saying we.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. And that's what this very eloquent professor is trying to explain, is that the basis of free speech is that you could say whatever you want to,
right,
until it leads to conduct. And I think that was a very, very important word right there. Until it leads to conduct. And then there's consequence for all of that. But
Right.
if your speech leads to conduct, then it becomes a criminal situation.
Saying it doesn't make it criminal. Acting upon it makes it criminal.
Ben, we might have some significant evidence of speech being significant that might lead to conduct. That's perfectly okay until this particular situation, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Donald Trump's speech, no big deal. His rhetoric that led to a riot at the Capitol where they literally wanted to stop the official count of electoral votes. And some people in the crowd wanted to hang the vice president of the United States.
Right. Right.
That speech, that's just speech. It doesn't, there's no conduct there. So why is he in trouble? This probably same Stefanik lady probably believes that about Trump, probably would say that about Trump. That it was just speech.
Sir,
It's not anything.
We can have a whole show about Elisa Stefanik, like literally like begging to lick the butthole of Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Part of my
This is
crudeness,
just her
but
trying to get a fight. And I'm not going to play anymore because I think we all got the context of what the crux was. And what I want to say to put a bow on this, to kind of move this along a little bit, because we're now almost 27 minutes, just over 27 minutes.
Opening segment.
Yeah. But to put a bow on this, I want to say kudos to the people at Harvard, the staff. There was over 700 faculty members that wrote a letter in support of that president, and the board showed their same support.
Before I want to apologize, like I called her Dr. Hill before. That was different.
Dr. Gay is yes,
Thank you.
Dr. Gay. And kudos to her for staying strong and not bowing to the pressure the way that the Penn president did very quickly. You know, and I don't know if maybe she had some other skeletons in her closet that she just wanted to get out of the spotlight before the microscope got turned on her. But you know, kudos to Harvard, because at the end of the day, those are smarter people than all of us. They're smarter people than every person that was sitting on the other side of that dais, from those witnesses, from those presidents. Everyone that was seated opposite them, they are smarter than. Make no mistake, and understand the law better than any one of those people. So to act like those congresswomen or this Stefanik or any of the other ones that attacked these people, that was just one of the Congress people that attacked these ladies for this over and over and over again, trying to get them in a gotcha situation, in a soundbite situation, to corner them and get them to say, "Oh, did you see?" Because here's the ultimate goal. This is what it was. It was conservative Congress people seeing an opportunity for them to try to point out some sort of hypocrisy between liberal speech and conservative speech, right? And they don't understand that, like, limiting the misinformation of, like, say, COVID or vaccine safety, that speech is different because that speech puts people at harm, right? It's different than there's different types of speech. And it was this whole gotcha. And unfortunately, it was only made available over this horrible war between Hamas and Israel. Because otherwise, this isn't even a topic. We're not even having this. We're not even having this discussion without this war happening. So there you go.
So maybe at one point we might look back and go, like, we learned so much, but have we?
Right.
Because people like Mike Johnson.
Oh, well, we can go there too.
Oh, we are going there. Mike Johnson. Could you pick a more pedestrian name?
No.
No. He is the current Speaker of the House of Representatives, the People's House, as they say, the People's House. Like that, the guy who is supposed to lead the majority coalition in that particular house of the Congress that is responsible for introducing legislation that then is passed on to the Senate, and the senators then pass that legislation or send it back to the House or send it to the president for signing into law. That is the loose understanding of our political system. Mike Johnson, who is now following a long line of Republican politicians who have quasi ties, if not outright ties, to Ben.
Russia, Mother Russia.
Thank you, sir. This is from our friends at Newsweek. A group of Russian nationals were able to donate to newly elected House Speaker Mike Johnson's campaign in 2018. Again, we got to rewind the clock. Right? How did we get here? How did we get here? People playing
It's a
long,
long process.
long game, right? They donated to Speaker Mike Johnson's campaign in 2018 by funneling money through the U.S. company. A Texas-based American ethane company previously donated tens of thousands of dollars to the campaign of Louisiana Republicans, including Johnson, who was voted by the House to replace Republican Kevin McCarthy. As Speaker on Wednesday, this is a week ago, I guess. Wild Limit Ethane was run in 2018. Hold on.
That's a hell of a name. And if
Yeah,
Gigi likes to hear you try to pronounce names,
Nope.
Hoteling?
Nope.
Hoteling?
One of the men behind the company, Nikolaev, an oligarch with close ties to.
Oh, let me guess.
Go ahead.
Vlad?
Putin, Vladimir Putin. Who was also found to be financially backed by
our friend Maria Butina.
Yeah.
Oh, remember her?
For the record, was as close to a Black Widow as any superhero character in modern news can possibly be. She's I can say this, and I'll say it out loud. She slept all around the NRA and in several very tight and indiscreet Republican circles, offered her services for money, cash, and influence, then get arrested and busted for all of those things here in the U.S. And it was kind of like extradited in the trade back to Russia, where she's heralded as a national hero and has a television show of her own.
Jesus.
Play the long game. So here we have Mike Johnson, who's been there being influenced from at least 2018 for his views that should really concern people. Yeah. Especially if you enjoy your personal medical freedoms and you happen to be of a female persuasive. But also the idea that this one particular person who believes that the earth is 6,000 years old.
Who's this? Oh, yeah, Johnson. Yeah.
Mike Johnson. Also, yeah, he's a fundamentalist. 6,000 years old.
I'm starting to believe you are right about this whole thing. Like the McCarthy thing was all a setup for this fucking weird looking fucking Mike Johnson dude. I mean, look at this guy. Let's just be serious.
What happened to McCarthy? What did McCarthy do?
This guy is so nondescript.
What did McCarthy do?
Well, nothing.
He left.
Really.
He left.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out of here. Fuck this shit.
But if your gig is done, if your role is over in the scheme, and you're like, I want to get the fuck out of here. What
Mike Johnson looks like a guy in a movie or television show about the government who is nondescript, but is definitely like one of the most evil people in Congress. Like he looks the part.
he looks like a Daily Show guy. That like this is a bit.
Yeah, like a
right?
parody of a
This is a
of
bit,
conservative. Yeah,
right?
a Saturday Night Live skit.
That he's a bit. And I just want to say, like, this is part of the plan. Like, there's a debate about funding Ukraine and where our dollars go and stuff. And like, trust, like this dude is there are Republican congresspersons that walked out of a speech from the president of Ukraine the other day. And let me be very clear. Ukraine is the battlefield for the world right now. And Israel is a close second, but for different reasons. I think Ukraine represents Russian aggression. We've talked about that. If Ukraine falls, we've got real problems where U.S. troops will be on the ground in Europe dying and fighting.
Yeah, I don't think people seem to understand that, right? Because you'll see clips. There was a clip, and I don't want to offshoot too far, but you brought him up.
go.
That Vladimir Zelensky, right? Vladimir Zelensky is the name.
Volodymyr,
whatever. The Ukrainian president. There was a clip that is getting tossed around on social media from conservative people, basically, where he says that the American public should drop all of their other concerns. Basically says don't build roads, don't put money towards anything but military and send it to the Ukraine. That's how important it is that we win this thing. And that kind of goes to what you're saying, and it gives context. Again, here we are. Context, provides perspective, provides some understanding of why he would say that. Now, yes, is that a bit over the top to tell the American public that they should spend their money on nothing else but to help a country halfway across the globe from being invaded by another country halfway across the globe? But you're right. Like, there are American lives that will be at stake should this go the wrong way. And more than that, look, if Ukraine falls, where does it end?
It doesn't, because China's watching with their situation with Taiwan.
Exactly.
Iran is watching. North Korea is watching. Saudi Arabia is watching. Like Yemen is look, here we are at 80 years plus probably of the United States being like G.I. Joe and being like that, like but being
the
that
police
guy,
of
like,
the world. The bully to some, hero to others.
And we can count, and we have on this show, credit due to us, we have on the show called out the U.S. and all of their renegade, stupid policies that have hurt people outrageously. We do that on the regs here on Topic Thunder. Yep. And we also state, like, well, shit, I've been told all my life that this is what you fight for. This is freedom. Like, I have the freedom. Like, if I want to go get communion from a Catholic church today, I can. And then I can walk to a mosque tomorrow and sit in prayer at the right times tomorrow, right? I can do that here. And it's difficult for a lot of people to understand that, because, like, this is just what we in America have. We have that choice. We have that ability. We have that freedom. That's what that means. And I know that we've stretched in the military complex, certainly has provided, and the prophet worship here in this country have certainly, like, distorted that concept. But we've set a standard. We, as a country, have set a standard of at least this is how we should behave and operate. And when those challenges come up, we've met them. We failed at many. But now, when all of that we are and we hold dear as a country, the things that we like, the fabric of our society and the meaning of our being are being challenged, like this being like, okay, well, if all of a sudden Ukraine's not your shiny new thing, and you're gonna be like, well, we need to make sure, like, oh, we do this and do that, and you're the president of Ukraine comes in and says, hey, look, guys, look, we're there. Look, it comes into a couple of different things. Like, what's with the slow drip of military equipment in this fight? Is it to allow the rest of the countries of the world to arm up? Because they certainly are. Is it if we appease Russia and we divide up Ukraine, maybe we avoid World War III? But then aren't you telling China, like, hey, like,
Yeah, just go do what you want with Taiwan.
All right.
If you press hard enough, they'll at least give you half.
Well, at least half. Like, what are you telling Iran when they're like, look, we've got nukes. We know Saudi Arabia's got nukes. Let's find out who wins.
Yeah, half of something is always better than all of nothing.
Playing the long game. We can't like look at the news and be like, react.
Yeah.
And we
not in
have
that situation. Yeah.
We have to listen to experts too. There are a lot of people out there that have a lot more knowledge about the history of Eurasia, of Europe, about America, American politics, U.S. politics, because American politics are different than U.S. politics.
Yeah.
I think.
Speaking of weird politics, can we talk about Nick Fuentes?
So I was just trying to put this out there to kind of state, like, hey, this is what the right wing of American politics is saying.
Brooks, I know that name, Nick Fuentes. Is it the same Nick Fuentes who dined with a former president of the United States?
Absolutely. Was invited to dine.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello, Aaron. Yes. Invited to dine at
Let's hear what this asshole in a mustache has to say.
Jeffro.
Who's Jeffro?
Hi, Jeffro.
Coming at us from YouTube. Maybe we know him. Maybe
Jeffro.
Is an occult element at the high levels of society, and specifically among the Jews. So many of the people that are perpetrating the lies and the destruction on the country, they are evildoers. They are people that worship false gods. They are people that practice magic or rituals or whatever. And more than anything, those people need to be, when we take power, they need to be given the death penalty. Straight up.
What?
And
keep going.
I'm far more concerned about that than I am about even non-white people or mass migration. These people that are communing with demons and engaging in this sort of witchcraft and stuff, and these people that are suppressing the name Christ and suppressing Christianity, they must be absolutely annihilated when we take power. This is God's country. This is Jesus' country. This is not the domain of atheists or devil worshippers or perfidious Jews. This is Christ's country.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is your fundamentalist Christian right. Ugh.
Look, when they're telling you that and they're putting it on the internet, believe them.
Right. Right. That guy feels so confident that there's no shame. There's no trepidation in what he's saying. He is saying, if you don't believe in God, you should be put to death.
A Christian guy,
a very particular Christian
and
God.
Persiccity. The Christian God is like
that is called Christian theocracy, and no one wants to live under that.
What are we talking about here? A Christian God, like because there's weird iterations of that, like because the Christian Bible has two parts: the Old Testament, which seems like a very angry and detached father who's very abusive, And then the New Testament, which is like a God who's like, hey guys, I just smoked a big joint. Everything's cool. Just chill out. That seems like two different people to me, or somebody who had a revelation. I don't know. Maybe took a healthy dose of mushrooms. I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't comment on that. But there are a lot of people in the chat right now that are they're on the same page here, right? Like Biz calls out the land of the free, right? This is scary. A lot of people think like that. That's not even, he's not even scared to speak like that. But like, tell that to somebody who legitimately, Ben, the next link. This is
our boy Stu Peters.
Holy shit. Folks, wrap your heads around what this talking head.
I think then we're kind of surrendering and waving the white flag to a portion of our great country that was founded under God. Although be it by degenerates who wrote all of our framing documents. Of course, we could get into that. I mean, these people were demonic as well. I think then we're kind of...
You can't have it both ways.
Wait, what?
So it was founded, our nation was founded under God.
What?
By demonic degenerates. What? Let me hear that again.
Of surrendering and waving the white flag to a portion of our great country that was founded under God. Although be it by degenerates who wrote all of our framing documents. Of course, we could get into that. I mean, these people were demonic as well. I think then...
Wait, let's get into that. Wait, who? like, are you telling me Quincy Adams was like...
Yeah, was he like an atheist or like into like demon worshiping, like
Bahamut, like Beelzebub? Like, what are we talking about?
What it seems to me, what the reality of what that clip, how that reads to me is that he was saying one thing, he was making a point, and then realized it was contradictory to points that he has also made in the past, and he had that thing in his brain where he's like, oh wait, cover your ass. And still, oh yeah, but we were founded under God, but by demonic people who wrote the framework. Like, what?
I believe in, I love this country despite its like troubled past, but all the guys who founded it are a bunch of fucking assholes. Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird. Like, look at that guy for okay. All right. We've already shown twice now what that man has said out of his own mouth. And now we can clearly question that choice of suit jacket. It was very poor. And opening your shirt down to like the third or fourth button, like,
I don't know much about that guy, but he smells of toxic masculinity.
That
just
man
reeks
is wearing like
hyper masculine Christian nonsense is all that guy spews all day. I guarantee it.
Our great country that was founded under God by founders who wrote all of their framing documents and were degenerates.
Demonic degenerates.
Demonic degenerates. Wrap your head around that. The thing that you're celebrating, you're also acknowledging was created by demons.
They can't even keep their bullshit straight. That's really what it comes down to.
So, Ben, this was sent to me by Tipton Moscow. And you know that gentleman is
he's into an elephant video?
No, actually, I got.
Am I on the wrong thing?
Oh boy, we can do the elephant. We need to do the elephant thing. Forget about everything else. Do the elephant.
Yeah,
thing.
Once we go elephant, we can't go back.
We need a palate cleanse, folks. Did you ever wonder what it looked like when a baby elephant met a bubble machine?
Wow, that was a great point right there in the chat by Aunt Chris. Education for those of you that don't know.
And South lost. Look at that baby elephant.
Yeah,
doesn't understand the bubbles, but loves the bubbles.
Adrian must not be actively watching, or else she would certainly be in the comments telling me how she wants to own one.
And we should. I think. Before we move on, let's talk about this, Ben. Show me.
Okay.
We have like one show before Christmas and the holiday.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That week of Christmas, specifically the 27th, 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Gigi and I will be on tour.
She's watching, just no energy to comment, by the way.
We will be on tour and not available for Topic Thunder. So next week, let's do a Christmas show.
Okay. I'm in.
I'm
I'll,
in a Christmas show.
Well, I don't know how we'll do that. What was it's like a Christmas theme. You know, like on sitcoms, they always have an episode that's got like a Christmas theme. So are all the stories going to have some sort of Christmas theme?
They could. I was also thinking,
Or are we just going to dress up for Christmas?
We can do that too, for sure.
I don't really have much Christmas clothes, but I will go buy like an ugly sweater or something.
Oh shit! Okay, look at that. All right.
I'll make dips and cocktails.
Why don't we? We'll have private conversations outside of the show, live to the planet.
We'll see if we can. Yeah, we'll figure something.
And maybe try to make something happen. But I was also thinking we can come to a charity decision,
Okay.
and then
like
decide to and during this giving season also like kind of get, maybe it's an elephant, maybe it's
Costumes are in.
costumes are in. So okay, all right.
All 3 lightning round stories will be told. That's the gift. That's a great idea from Ryan Hansen. We'll banty that about.
That is a good gift, actually. Ben, we're running out of time, aren't we?
Yeah. So do we want to put the? I know you're going to go with the ProPublica story next. Is that where you were going with the Tipton Moscow stuff? Is that the one? Or was it the farmers killing the cartel members?
You know what? That sounds terrible. All this sounds really terrible, and I don't want to cover it.
Okay.
So,
how about the IFL science story next?
How about the we do
the AI stuff?
Why don't we do the last 2 stories there?
The AI stuff, the new tool that lets artists poison their artwork.
No,
we've been talking a lot about AI lately.
Yeah, but I think we need to.
All right.
Yeah. Why don't
All right,
we?
so we're gonna go to the last 2 Twitter links.
That's it, sir.
Got it. Got it. All right. Let me give me just a second to get things set up here.
Just to let
all
you
right.
know.
So here.
All
right.
Yeah.
What's this? This seems weird. What's this video all about? Brooks, tell us.
Talk about survivors, right? This is a plant that can survive without water, and then when it gets water, does that.
Wow.
Selaganala lepidophilia can survive years of drought and almost complete desiccation. No water.
That's incredible. That's like those fish that can live in mud where there's like no water. Have you ever seen that? Like I swear there's like an animal of. Yeah, can you smoke it?
Have you ever seen? Yeah, right. Have you ever seen the movie Alien? Have you seen that lunch scene?
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember it specifically. I'll be honest. I remember seeing the movie, but I don't remember the specifics of it. It's been so long.
One scene is when the alien like burst out of a dude's stomach and
okay, the very famous scene. Okay, yes, of course.
That's an alien plant. However, sir, and Ryan Hansen, we respect that plant exists here on this planet. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Arguing about I believe this, I believe that, I think this, I think that. Look at what this fucking plant just did.
Right.
Why don't we understand all of that?
Mm-hmm.
And then okay, so it's important that we kind of enter this phase of the show because I think we need an overall cleanse, and I don't know how to introduce this other than don't believe anything you're reading, just listen. Just
okay. What? That doesn't seem real. That's incredible.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I mean, that is a level of singing
Keep going.
that.
Keep going. Wait. Get off of my plane.
Shut up. And it looks effortless.
That's effortless.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the kid's window to be able to sing like that is probably very, very small.
Oh,
That's
because why?
incredible.
Why, Ben? Why would that be, Ben?
Well, puberty? I don't know.
Or because he's a black man?
No. Because he's going to hit puberty and his voice is going to crack and not be able to get that high anymore.
Nah, the voice won't change much once you have that capability. Those octaves, like that.
That's incredible. I mean, that is one of those like weird phenomenon gifts, like that you can't even train to sing like that. Like you are just born with that ability, and like, what does that mean? And on a deeper level, like I can understand why the idea of God can grab hold of people, because it answers how in the world that boy can sing like that. It at least provides some sort of gift from God. It provides some sort of answer that our brains can comprehend, is that he was just gifted it by some sort of higher power, because otherwise our brains can't process how incredible it is that person has that ability just from being born with it. It's amazing. I mean, you could see how people can believe in God when they see and hear things like that, or like the past generations of people, like thousands of years ago. If somebody had a skill that they were just born with, maybe not singing, but something like that, where you're like, how is this person capable of this? I just out of nowhere, like, oh, it must be God. So,
I have no problem acknowledging a higher power. What I need to see more of, and honestly, what we need to respect more of, are like avatars of that, which that young boy clearly is. That is the voice of an angel.
Yeah, something otherworldly.
Like if you were playing a video game, you'd be like, he'd be the MacGuffin that you needed to seek out.
You could believe that's
to like
fake.
open a portal. His voice
Yeah.
opens a portal that you jump through, though, to be able to fight the bad guy like that.
Yeah.
Like
It doesn't seem real. It's so incredible. It's so perfect.
And folks, to tie this all up into a little bow before we get to that cacao lightning round, is why we need to make sure everybody has appropriate food, clothing, water, shelter, and access to medicine and healthcare, because we don't know where that next voice of an angel is going to come from. We don't know where that next medical scientist is going to come from, who discovers the cure of this, that, or the other, or makes something better from that. That's why we all need to worry about us. Period. Us. Speaking of us, you're a fan of is us. It's the lightning round, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very specific reference to the most famous segment that my pops loves the most. Welcome into the world.
Everybody loves it.
Everybody loves it. Why not? It's the world's most dangerous chat zone's chance to come alive, and the Thunderbolts are already in there, folks. Thanks for coming, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know the rules of the lightning round, let me explain it briefly. 3 stories enter the world's most dangerous chat zone, the Thunderdome. We're not getting sued by anybody adjacent to Mel Brooks for that. Tina Turner loved it, though. 3 stories enter. 1 gets chosen to be read, and that story is chosen by you, the people. And that's how we celebrate our democracy here. So, folks, without any further dilly or dally, let's get the headline number 1. Sea cucumber smuggler nabbed at South Florida airport, feds say.
Sea cucumber smuggler. All right.
Think about that one.
Yeah, say that 3 times fast after you had a couple glasses of wine.
I tried to explain that to my high school girlfriend's father. Headline number 2. Taiwanese man arrested in Thailand airport smuggling otters.
Just pick one, Billy Wack. Just pick a number. Just pick a number before you leave.
I think you missed the point here in this one. There's a Taiwanese man arrested in Thailand for smuggling otters in his underwear.
Yeah, pick number 2. Just pick number 2.
No. And headline number 3. International Space Station astronauts find tomato that was lost in space for 8 months.
I'm sorry, what?
The International Space Station astronauts found a tomato that was lost in space for 8 months. That's headline number 3, Ben.
God, that's crazy.
You got something to think about.
Yeah, man, you made this tough this week. All 3 are pretty good.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go back to headline number 1. Sea cucumber smuggler nabbed at South Florida airport, feds say.
Young Aaron says it has to be number 3.
Headline number 2. Taiwanese man arrested at Thailand airport for smuggling otters in his underwear.
That's a pretty goddamn good one.
You get out of here, Ben.
You get outer here. Ha ha. Hey-o.
Headline number 3. International Space Station astronauts find tomato that was lost in space for 8 months.
Yeah, what was going on and how did it get lost? How did they
find it?
Tomato,
Ben.
And what happened to that tomato? Did anybody dare eat that tomato? I got so many questions about this tomato.
Well,
so does the most dangerous chat room apparently, because smuggling seacock, otter my pants, and tomato is hide and seek champ. Otter my pants might be the best alternate headline ever.
And to be honest with you, smuggling seacock is a rough me up song. That's a complete that's another episode of Topic Thunder.
Yes.
And that is the most inside of inside jokes. If you're listening to the show right now and you're going, wait, what is rough me up?
Yeah, that's super inside. Yeah,
that's super.
By the way, number 2 is quickly catching up as both the VIPs have come out to vote for number 2 as well as Gigi, and I think that ties it up at 3 at this point. I might have to actually make a vote, although Ryan Hansen has not voted yet, so he could be the tie break at this point. Because I'm seeing 3-3.
I am looking.
We got Young Aaron, Biz
right now,
and he breaks the tie with number 2. He's gonna go with number 2. Supreme! Supreme coming out of left field. I call it's Young Aaron. Is that old Derek? If I call Aaron Young Aaron, is it old Derek? Is that
it's just Supreme?
Another tie break. Adrian.
Coming
out with number 2. Okay.
I don't think we have a vote from. We do Andy Cleaver.
We do.
Jennifer Brooks.
I think that's the tie break.
I think we're I think
I think the otter story wins.
We're, uh-oh.
Oh yeah, don't worry. My wife came to save the day, young Aaron.
Thanks, Dad. Hey, folks. This is from the Taiwan News. Taiwanese man arrested at Thailand airport for smuggling otters in his underwear. Hold on. You know what? Before I
Yeah, I think you do it. By the way, while you're just sending that to me, I will say this: otters are maybe the one animal that if you could keep it as. Oh wait, the Australian guy votes for number 3. He's coming at us from Twitter. I don't even know. This is a new vote, and this throws a monkey wrench into everything.
The Australian guy ties it up.
Back up! Oh my god!
Okay,
what do we do here, Brooks? This is chaos.
I think what we do here is that we respect the vote prior to.
And by the way, Ryan Hansen has a great question. How many otters was he trying to smuggle in his underwear? But we may never know now because now it's tied up.
No.
And I also want to know how thy Australian guy got to know us. How did you find us? Did you just stumble upon us on Twitter, or do we know you? Please.
I saw somebody sign up and follow us on our Twitch account. That was L Hitman 606, which you might not mean much, but L Hitman, okay, of course, you get that. But the 606 is a bike path here in Chicago. So it's a very like, ooh, you're a mysterious client kind of deal. My Fiona says number 2. And you know what? What Fiona says.
All right. That breaks the tie. Sorry, Australian guy. I will thank you so much for participating and stopping by.
And you should tell your friends. Suspect caught by airport security officials.
You'll never know who I am.
Excellent. I mean, honestly, we don't want to.
Yeah, really, it's probably better that we don't. Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. We like the mystery.
That's fine. Just be respectful or be an asshole. That doesn't matter.
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
That's all. Taipei. Wait. Is this
hold on. I got to bring this story up now.
There you go. A Taiwanese man was arrested at Thailand's airport on December 5th after he was caught by customs trying to smuggle 2 otters and a prairie dog aboard a Taipei-bound flight. Like, you would have automatically won the lightning round if you included the prairie dog, but you didn't. Anyway, the 22-year-old man reportedly first put the small animals into his pantyhose and then secured the bound pouches around his waist with packing tape.
Oh my God.
His odd behavior and visible bulges. Also the name of my what we called my that was my Dungeons and Dragons crew back when I was 14. We called ourselves the visible bulges. His odd behavior and visible bulges in his pants caught the attention of officers as he was walking.
Look at that prairie dog. He's so pissed off. That prairie dog's like, what the fuck happened to me?
X-ray machine at a security checkpoint. Information on the incident was shared by Thailand's Department of National Parks, Wildlife, and Plant.
Oh, there it is. There's this oh my God. There's his apparatus.
The Taiwanese man will face charges related to trafficking prohibited goods, removing protected wildlife, their natural habitat, and attempting to export wildlife without a proper license.
This guy deserves to be beaten in jail, by the way.
Wildlife smuggling operations are a serious problem for Thailand authorities. To combat the trafficking of animals, the government passed an Enhanced Wildlife Conservation and Protection Act in 2019. Under the current law, if found guilty, the man may face a fine of 30,000 American dollars and between 4 to 10 years in prison. According to reports, the Asian small-clawed otters, which the man attempted to bring to Taiwan, are a protected species. That's it.
Interesting. There you go.
No.
I will say this. That guy's a total asshole. Yeah. I hope he got bit too. I hope they bit him as well. I will say this also. Number 3, the story number 3, the tomato story. I'm going to ask that it be reshuffled back into the deck
Oh.
for a later date, maybe even next week or
Ooh.
down the road, to shuffle that story back into the lightning round deck, because people did. It was a close vote. We haven't had a close vote like that.
Somebody from Australia came in. It was like, hey,
I want to hear about this tomato.
mate.
I'm going to ask that it gets thrown back in the hopper for a
The
future.
Australian guy. You never know who I am. I'm gonna annoy you with my terrible Australian accent until you
If I could have
reveal who
any
you
accent,
are.
if I could have any accent in the world, it would be an Australian accent.
Oh,
I
Sean
fucking
Connery's
love it.
accent,
Love
without a
it.
doubt. Without a doubt. Because that will make it okay when you tell a woman that you need to slap her. That's okay. That's a
There you go.
And on that note, hi, and on that note, we're socially conscious. No. Sean Connery is an asshole. Was an asshole. He's dead now. But you are on the deck of the USS Rapapa. And what that means is you're participating in Topic Thunder, the world's coolest internet saloon, where Ben and I pour conversation and you participate verse.
Next week, company Christmas party.
That's going to be bring your Christmas stuff. We're going to vote on a charity to give money to. Hi.